Hello. And today we'll be playing NeveN. We're going to start chapter 10 for Tenoch. Something tells me today is going to be a difficult day. The fact that I have to meet Vigo is part of the complication, obviously, but even without that, the foreign delegations are due to arrive today, and given how nervous Tenoch is about seeing his brother, he's going to need me. Although, in a way, I like him to stay here, I'm not so selfish as to hope he'll give up. He'll give up his dream just for me. Ugh. I have to stop worrying about things that haven't happened yet and that I have no control over. Vigo. I can do something about Vigo. The question is, what exactly? I almost jump when I hear someone knocking on my door. I really need to calm down, or I won't survive this day. Eric? Mabel, what's going on? The prince pushes open the door and enters my room, a moderately worried expression on his face. What's going on now? Hope you're not bringing me more bad news. Not necessarily. The delegations from Akkad and Kazal have arrived. I just wanted to talk to you and make sure that I won't accidentally cause a major diplomatic incident, and I thought you trusted me now. I do, mostly. I don't think it's necessary to remind you of your duties. I'm starting to know you. I understand that you'll do as you please anyway. I just wanted to ask you to be careful. Avoid the Wazir as much as possible. She seems determined to do everything she can to annoy us. His hand tightens slightly as he lets out a brief but audible growl. What did she do to annoy you? She brought 2 slaves with her. What? But why? Because she hopes we'll act recklessly. She's provoking us to do so. I think she wants a war. Her brain is too small to give her any chance of ascending to the Mercadian throne. I imagine a war could bring enough glory to her family, especially if she is the instigator. But we're not going to fall into such an obvious trap, are we? I'd love to jump right into it, but I'll have the restraint not to. As for you, avoid her as much as possible. I'm more worried about Wappa. He'll definitely want to meet you. Tenoch's brother, right? I guess he'll want to see his companion. I doubt he'll be that interested in your relationship. Oh, considering your position and the fact that you were present during the confrontation, he'll probably want to know what happened to Tenoch, especially his arm. So whatever you say, make sure you and he are on the same version of events beforehand. Can't we just tell the truth? You want to explain to him that a member of the court, the warrior hunter himself, tore off the arm of the Emperor's heir? It wasn't really Vakad, just Calathon. We don't know that. He sighs, running his hand over his muzzle. I think you're right. But until he wakes up, we have no way of knowing for sure, so it's best to keep the information hidden as much as possible. So we're just going to lie to one of our allies? For now, yes, this alliance has only just begun. There's no point in risking damaging it now. I can understand that, and I'm sure Tenoch will understand too. I'll be careful about that. Thank you. An uncomfortable silence ensues. I wanted to talk to you about something else. We haven't had time since the attack, and a series of knocks on my door interrupts the prince. Are you expecting someone? Well, to be honest, kind of, but I doubt it's him. It's probably just to let me know he's coming. So, you are inviting people to the castle now? It's an old acquaintance. I walk towards the door, opening it to face a guard I don't know. Lord Eric, your guests are waiting for you at the gates. Thank you. Could you take them to... I think for a moment, trying to find a place where we can talk quietly. The dining room. There'll certainly be anyone there at the moment. The dining room. Perfect. Thank you, my prince. The bear simply nods in response. Good, my prince. Lord Eric. He greets us briefly before leaving to deliver my message while I close the door. Sorry about that, you were saying? I just wanted to know how you were doing, that's all. We haven't really had a chance to talk since everything happened. I paused for a moment. The quest is more complicated than it seems at first glance. Physically, I'm fine. As for the rest, I'm doing as well as can be expected given what's happened, I'd say. I survived the confrontation better than I could have hoped. Better than Tenoch anyway. Thanks in large part to him. I guess that's all I can ask for, right? I suppose so. Let's hope it's all behind us now, and things can calm down for both of us. Vigil comes to mind. I doubt calm is what awaits me in the immediate future. Let's hope so. Is there anything you need? I'll come find you if there's a problem. Don't worry. I told you I'm not stupid and I've learned my lesson from recent events. But if you'll excuse me, I really need to go meet the people who are waiting for me. It's important to me. Of course. I hope it goes well. Me too. Believe me, me too. As a final farewell, Mayborn leaves me alone, and I can't help but let out a long sigh. I appreciate him coming by, I really do, and I'm sure he's genuinely concerned, but right now I have other things on my mind. And it's high time I took care of them. As I walk through the castle corridors, I have to fight against every fiber of my being telling me to leave, to run away. But that's not a solution, and I can't really afford to do that anyway. The whole world knows I'm here. I can no longer hope to hide. I can only prepare myself for what might happen. As I approach the kitchens, I see a familiar figure leaning against the wall next to the entrance. Erwin. Ah, here is an infamous royal bard. I didn't know I had to make an appointment to see you now. I just smiled at him in response before hugging him, leaning out alongside as I do so. You miss me that much? Life at court isn't exactly what I imagined, so it's nice to see you. Is it regret that I hear your voice? I take a second to think about his question, which seems to surprise him. Really? Hence, complicated, but no. I don't think I regret coming here. Good. That would have been a shame. I smiled at him again before looking inside the room. Is Vigil in there? Yep, he's waiting for you. And judging by the look on his face, I figured it would be best to let you two talk alone. How did he end up in the band? Rhaegar. How else? He found Vigil playing in an inn, and the owner decided to hire him. When he found out we knew you, he asked to know everything about you. Then, when he said he wanted to come see you, Rhaegar asked me to accompany him to make sure everything went smoothly. Thanks for that. Eric, what happened between you two? When we talk about you, he has that look in his eyes. I don't know what it is exactly, but I don't like it. It's a long story, but I'll tell you everything, I promise. An idea comes to me after a moment. You should go to the guard room and ask to see Rowan. He's a friend of mine. And he can find you a bedroom here in the castle. No need to go back to the inn for the night. Are you sure about that? Well, what good is being a noble if I can't enjoy a little? Well, what good is being a noble if I can't enjoy a little? Yeah, I'm not going to turn down the chance to enjoy a bit of royal comfort. He tightens his belt and tidies up his clothes before straightening up. I'll do that. No need to keep you two waiting any longer. Oh, and Eric? He's a good guy. Don't break his heart. It's a little late for that. I'll do my best. He nods, then steps into the hallway. As for me, I take a deep breath. No more excuses. It's time to go. By the time I see him, I can feel my heart sink. He stayed the same, even in the way he stands. For a brief moment, I almost feel like I'm back in Scorner before everything happened. Then the feeling disappears, and I notice the differences. The tension in his eyes the way his lips tremble when he smiles, and the ring hanging from his necklace. Eric. Hey, Viggo. He stands up, then hesitates for a moment before sitting back down. Thank NeveN. I don't know how I would have reacted if he had come over to hug me. You don't know how happy I am to see you. You know what? I'm happy to see that you're doing well too. It hasn't always been easy, but yeah, now I'm okay. But I miss you, Viggo. I just want you to know that's all. I don't blame you. I know the situation was difficult when you left, but I miss you, and it wasn't easy. My parents thought you were dead, even when I told them I knew you weren't. I'm sorry, Viggo. Really sincerely sorry. I should never have abandoned you like that, especially after everything I said to you. I was young, I was grieving and angry, but that doesn't excuse everything. It certainly doesn't excuse how I treated you. I owe you an apology. Thank you for that. But I told you, I've already forgiven you. You don't have to feel guilty anymore, alright? You can pick up where we left off. What? Pick up? I don't want to be alone, Eric. I don't know. I don't know who I am without you. But now that I've found you again, everything will get better. Viggo, no. I'm not saying everything has to go back to the way it was. It's just, I'd like you to come back into my life, that's all. All these years, not knowing where you were, what had happened to you, not knowing if I'd ever see you again. You don't know how hard it's been. Viggo, listen, I can't imagine what I put you through, and I'll always feel bad about that. But pretending nothing happened, going back to how we were, I don't think that's a solution. I'm sure it's a bad idea. You don't want to see me anymore? No, it's not that. I run my hand over my face, trying to gather my thoughts. It's only now that I truly realize how much I hurt him, how much he's suffering now, and I don't know if agreeing to see him was a good idea at all. Maybe I should have refused to talk to him. Maybe I should have cut it all off and left him alone. No, that wouldn't have helped. It would have been nothing more than another escape from my problems, a way to avoid conflict. I have to be better than that. I should find a way to help Viggo and myself. Things have changed, Viggo. I've changed a lot. I'm not at all the person you loved anymore. But let me speak, please. After leaving Skarner, I traveled as far as my money would allow. I did that until my pockets were empty, then I ended up on the streets, forced to beg and steal for food. It was difficult. Even almost gave up singing. I didn't have the courage to continue. I felt so guilty for everything I did to you. I don't know what I would have ended up doing if Rhaegar hadn't found me. Eric. He helped me more than I ever thought possible. He allowed me to learn and improve, in part. I had to change. I'm no longer the hopeful kid from a small village lost in the countryside. And lately, with my brand, I had to change once more. Royal Bard, NeveN's chosen, hero of the kingdom. Who knows where I'll have to be tomorrow? So, to go back to the way we were? No, it's impossible. Even if you forgive me completely, even if I could forgive myself completely, the person I was disappeared when I threw my ring in your face. And no matter what I do, he can never come back. Viggo remains silent for a moment, reaching for the ring that once adorned my finger, now hanging around his neck and caressing it distractedly. When you left, I spent the first few weeks looking everywhere for you. I wasn't the only one, of course, but the others gave up after a few days. But not me. I searched and searched and searched. Everywhere you could have gone, everywhere you could have been, every nook and cranny, every place I knew you had ever set paw. I ended up getting sick, really sick. I spent a few weeks in my room, unable to move. And when I started to feel better, I just stayed in my bed. Why go out? You weren't there waiting for me. I had nothing to do outside. It took me almost a year or two to tears are swimming down his cheeks and I'm dying to hug him. But right now, that's probably not a good idea. It's probably better if he can say what he needs to say. My parents were worried, really worried. I didn't want them to be sad because of me. So I forced myself to go out again. I forced myself to smile, to laugh, to play music. But inside, I was empty, Eric. I just didn't want them to worry. And that's all I am when you're not around. I'm nobody, empty of all that makes life worth living. But when I heard you were alive, that you become the royal bard, that I knew where I could find you. Things changed. I felt alive again. I was finally myself again. I jumped at the first chance to come here and see you. So please, please don't tell me I have to go back to that emptiness. I won't be able to bear it. That's not what I want, Vigo. I never wanted any of this. But you can't make your life revolve around mine. It's not fair. It's not healthy either for you nor for me. But I love you. I love who I was all those years ago. But I love who I was all those years ago. Who I was when I left Scorna. And it's all my fault. I betrayed your trust. I hurt you more than I ever thought possible. And going back to the way we were, going back in time, that's not the answer. That's not how we heal and move forward. I met someone recently, and I really love him. He's taught me a lot of things, but one of them is that you can't stay stuck in the past. You have to learn from it and move on, move forward, and not make the same mistake twice. You met someone? You're together? Yes. And you love him? I do. What do I do then? You heal, Vigo. You haven't been able to do it all these years, so now is the time. I don't want to do this without you. I can't. You don't have to. We've been friends for much longer than we've been lovers. There's nothing stopping us from going back to that. And besides, you're not alone, are you? What do you mean? I know he's a bit gruff, but I know Erwin. You can talk to him. He'll be able to help you. Think about it. And you know where to find me now. I've asked for a bedroom to be prepared for you at the castle for just a few days. Really? Really? I'm a royal bard after all. I'm allowed to have a few guests. I try to smile at him and pleased to see him sadly smile back. His heart isn't really in it, but I prefer that to seeing him cry. I hope it's a sign that he understands. Eric, can I ask you something? I need you to answer honestly. Of course. Do you still love me? Part of me will always love you, I think. Part of me will always belong to you. But that doesn't define me. Not anymore. It's a crazy kind of love, a young adult's love, is present and very real. But this isn't who I am anymore. Over time, I've learned to love differently, in a more mature way, I say. And I have no doubt that if all this hadn't happened, I would have learned to love you that way. But that's not how things turn out. And you can't imagine how sorry I am about that. I think I can. Maybe. All I can hope is that one day you'll find someone who can love you back. You deserve it. The fox smiled sadly at me before grabbing his necklace to remove it. You should take that back. It's yours after all. I don't know if. Please, do it for me. Just make sure that you don't forget me. That you don't forget where we were together. I don't need that, but I can't refuse it either. I reached out my hand, and for a brief moment our fingers touched as he places the necklace in my palm. I can feel him silver, and I have to stop myself from doing the same. The touch of his fur, bringing back old memories. Thank you. Vigo, I'm sorry, really. You didn't deserve all. Eric, you apologized enough. I found you. And even if things are different, it's still good news. It's a good thing that we found each other again. Just let me enjoy it as much as I can. Please. Sorry, of course. I'm happy to see you again, too. You know? A silence follows between us, full of doubts and hesitations. What else can I say? What else can I do except wait and see how things turn out? I should probably go find Erwin. Oh, he's probably still in the guard room at the moment. Knowing him, he'll probably have challenged one of them to prove he's a better fighter. I can go with you if you want. No, I'll find my way. Don't worry. The message isn't hard to understand. He wants some time to think. Away from me. That probably wouldn't hurt me either. No problem. The place is not hard to find anyway, so will I see you soon? I think so, yes. See you. He opens his mouth again as if to say something else before changing his mind and leaving. I let out a long sigh that I had been struggling to hold back until now. All in all, it went relatively well, if we ignore the fact that I hurt him much more than I thought I would. I don't even know what I was hoping for exactly. That he would have gotten over it, that he would have, in a way, mourned our past relationship to the point of acceptance. That whatever wrongs I was responsible for hadn't hurt him too deeply. I was wrong on all counts, I guess. All I can do now is hope that I found the right words, that I said what was needed to be, that I said what was needed to make him feel better. Maybe I'll even be able to rebuild my friendship with him. I'm sure he'd get along well with a cat. But maybe that's too much to ask. Maybe the best thing to do would be to just let him go and forget about me. Even though, now that I have a chance to see him again, I have no desire to do that. I looked down at the ring he gave me, rolling it between my fingers for a moment. With another sigh, I finally slipped the necklace around my neck, letting the pendant fall into my shirt. Oh, not much. Hey. Oh, great. Just who I wanted to see right now. Hi, Sven. You want something? I was looking for you. We need to talk. I was told you were here, but when I approached, it looked like something serious was going on, so I thought it best to give you some time. That's strangely kind of him. Not long ago, I bet he would have eavesdropped on our conversation to use whatever he heard against me. But now, he kind of sounds sincere. Thanks for that. I need it. He looks at me for a moment before coming over and sitting down opposite me, taking the place where Viggo was a few minutes ago. Astrid told me there was going to be a small reception tonight to celebrate the arrival of two important foreign delegations, and tomorrow there will be a banquet. I suppose he'd like us to take advantage of the situation just so that we've made up. That's the idea. I'll have to make an effort to look friendly towards you. Are we going to survive this ordeal? I don't want you to hurt yourself trying to do something so extraordinary. And you will also have to try not to be a sarcastic little jerk for a few hours. I'm sure that will take even more effort. He isn't wrong. Luckily, I've always been a good actor. I have my doubts about that, but we'll see tonight, I guess. I guess so, indeed. During the brief silence that follows, I suddenly release something that is, to say the least, unexpected. I want to talk to Sven, to spend some time with him. Meeting Viggo must have affected me more than I thought, or maybe it's one of the after effects of the fights against Caliphon. Although our last conversation wasn't necessarily unpleasant, I wouldn't say we were friendly, but we were both honest. Well, I don't want to dwell on it too much. I'm just going to say the first thing that comes to mind. That usually fills the silence. I was wondering, do you think that if things had been different, you and I could have gotten along? Thanks a lot, Brian. We could have found another topic to discuss. What's wrong with you? Are you sick? Just a question I was asking myself. If we're going to pretend, it would have been nice to potentially be sincere for once, right? Maybe. But even if you hadn't tried to take my place before throwing me out of my job. Sven, damn it. Even without that, I doubt it. You always need to be the center of attention, and there's only room for one star up there. As if you were any different. I'm not. but like I said, there's only room for one star. Not to mention that you know how to piss someone off, easily and quickly. And you're a paragon of sympathy, maybe. No one has effectively tried to kill me yet. Not sure you can say the name. Well, not sure you can say the same. Even if it, even if it's not because of my personality, he's not entirely wrong about that last part, I suppose. I know how to sell the stage. I'm part of a duo with a cat. Oh please, we both know you're the heart of your little duo. You're the one everyone looks at. Contrary to what you think, I know how to let others shine. He has had the opportunity to perform solo in each of our performances. If you say so, I deeply regret my decision to talk to him. It was clearly a bad idea. But now that I've started it, there's no way I'm letting him go without setting him up. And I know exactly how to do that. Do you remember when I first joined Rhaegar's band? Unfortunately, yes, even though it's something I'd rather erase from my memory. He tried to keep both of us happy. Both of us happy. He tried to keep both of us happy for a few months, trying to get us to sing together and share the stage equally. Probably one of his worst ideas, a disaster from start to finish. You couldn't help trying to take control of all the songs. And you couldn't even keep up with me on the high notes. You should have adapted to my voice. You should have practiced more. I glare at him and he glares back. Calm down, Eric. You can prove you're right. Don't let him get to you. You're wrong. It was a disaster from start to finish. What are you talking about? Remember when we were in that small tavern near Wib? The owner had agreed to let us put on a show in exchange for beds and food. Our first songs went as well as usual. We were good enough to keep our audience entertained, but anyone with the slightest bit of knowledge would have known that we didn't work well together. NeveN remained silent, listening to me intently. I guess he's trying to remember that evening. And then the tavern's keeper's son came to find us. He offered us a copper coin each and asked us to sing Autumn Mist. I remember it particularly because we didn't really sing lullabies when we played in inns, but he insisted. He explained that his sister was trying to sleep upstairs and that it would help her. That was the only time we ever sang perfectly together. I regret not asking the kid's name. He accomplished something even Rhaegar couldn't after all. Ranulf. What? The kid. His name is Ranulf. His sister's name was Isel. How? I asked them. I spoke with them after that while you were busy emptying their liquor supply before attempting to climb into bed with one of our guards. I didn't know. You never asked. But that proves you're wrong. I can sing with someone else. I can let another singer take the lead. Do you realize that in that case it proves that I'm capable of doing the same thing? Right. NeveN sighs before speaking again. I'll be honest, watching you slowly fall apart here is much less fun than I had hoped. I'm not that miserable. Whether I like it or not, I know you, and I can see that you're far from being as alive as you used to be. I guess life in the castle isn't exactly what you hoped it to be. Probably the understatement of the year. The best thing to do is probably just shut up. We're not friends. We never will be. And no matter what happens, we can't change that. But we have to live here together. We can at least not be constantly at each other's throats. That sounds like a nice idea. However, I won't stop insulting you and putting you in your place if necessary. I can't help but smile. Don't worry, I fully intend to do the same to you. Perfect, so I can count on you for the night? I'll start with you sure. After all, it will help my reputation as much as it will help your position. In that case, I'm finally free of your presence. He grunts and gets up, not waiting for a response. Nice. Oh, and before I forget, say hello to Astrid for me. and thank her for her help. I'll tell her. He abandons me, leaving me alone. What a strange morning. Everyone giggles then, and it all ends on a relatively positive note. That's not what I've been used to lately. These discussions have exhausted me, at least mentally, and I know exactly how to relax and get some rest. It's high time I went to say hello to my favorite lizard. As I walk through the courtyards and reach Tenoch's quarters, I was lucky enough to catch my first glimpse of the Mercadian envoy, as he is accompanied by her two slaves, who look like some kind of goats with straight horns and wearing heavy metal collars. It runs through me at the sight of them, and I understand what Mabel meant. It's revolting. There's really no other word for it. But as the prince said, there's not much I can do about it right now, especially since they are not alone. Edwin seems to be guiding them, perhaps to show them around the castle. I suppose he's the one who has the most contact with McCad for business purposes. And after a moment, I realize that I know the guard accompanying them is the mute white fox I interacted with yesterday. Interesting. I suppose he might be truly trustworthy if he's already been allowed to accompany such important people. Or perhaps they think he'll be unable to repeat their secrets to someone else, I suppose. In any case, I'll have to face Rathir eventually. I have no doubt they'll still want to meet the royal bards at some point. For now, I have other things to do. So I leave them to their business after one last glance, walking back up the castle corridors to find Tenoch. Then I knock briefly on his door before announcing myself. Come on, quickly. No need to tell me twice. Without waiting, I enter his room to be confronted with a sight I hadn't seen before, and clearly Tenoch doesn't necessarily appreciate me witnessing it. The fabric covering his stump hangs awkwardly from the end of his room, while the rope meant to hold it in place is loosely tied, held by a makeshift knot. Given the lizard's frustrated expressions, it's not hard to guess what's going on. You can ask the servants to do it, you know. They're literally paid for that kind of thing. That's out of the question. I refuse to depend on someone else's presence just to get dressed. You're wounded tonight. That's not the point. Can I at least help you? He growls for a moment before stretching what's left of his arm in my direction. Please. I approach him and grab the fabric, starting to untie the knot till we do it properly. I'm not saying you can't do it, just that you already have so many other things to get used to. Don't try to rush it. I have to go fast. I can't let the others. You need to heal. You also need to learn how to manage your new life. People aren't going to judge your ability to run an empire based on how you tie a piece of cloth around your arm, Tenoch. It's not them to worry about. If that's really what tips the scales in your brother's favor, maybe the empire isn't as well organized as I thought. He gives me a surprised look, and I can see a hint of anger in his eyes. Someone still doesn't appreciate the slightest criticism of his precious nation, I'm just saying that being an emperor, king, prince, or whatever else doesn't mean you have to be perfect in every way, and any proper nation should know that. It's only been a few days. No one can expect you to be able to do everything and as if nothing had happened. You're African, just like the rest of us. I'm an African who is destined to become emperor. If there's one thing I've learned about nobles and royalty since I've been here is that they're far from perfect. So just let me help you, at least for now. I tighten the rope around his arm and step back and smile at him. The result is quite satisfactory. Tenoch looks at his severed arm for a moment, then sighs and smiles back. You're right, thank you. I'm always right, you know it. I wouldn't go that far. I throw myself into his chair and stick my tongue out at him. He joins me after a moment, taking the time to look at me intently before sitting down. So, you got to see Viggo today, How did you know? Your expression is different. You seem more relaxed than yesterday. Really? I didn't realize. But yes, we got to talk this morning. It went relatively well, I'd say. At least I think so. He was hoping we could maybe get back together, but I don't think that's a good idea. Why not? What do you mean? I'm with you. Isn't that the reason enough? Maybe, but we both know it's not something that will last forever. I don't think it changes the situation. Wouldn't that just make him some kind of second choice, a consolation prize? I don't know. Maybe even without that problem, it's not a good idea. He doesn't know who I've become, and I don't know who he is now either. It's been too long. We've changed too much. But I've offered him to stay at the castle for now. We can at least try to rebuild our friendship, maybe even introduce you to each other. I'm sure he'll be delighted to meet his replacement. It doesn't sound like the best idea when you put it like that, but if you really insist, I'll be delighted to meet him, of course. Speaking of meeting new people, I scheduled a time to see my brother, and I'd like you to come with me. Really? I thought you wanted some time to yourselves. Besides, he'll probably want to talk to you about Kazal. Will he? We can always do that later. For now, he'll probably want to know the details of what happened to my arm, and since you're involved, he'll want to question me. What are you going to tell him? The truth, at least partially. I just planned to hide the fact that it was Vakad. I'm going to pretend my aggressor was a complete stranger. The truth could strain relations between our nations, and we don't need that right now. And he'll believe you. If you back me up, he won't really have a choice. Even if he suspects I'm hiding something, there's not much he can do about it. I hope you're right. Oh, also, I saw her with Thea from a distance, and she's clearly hostile. I'm pretty sure she is here to cause trouble. If we could at least make sure we have your brother on our side. I don't know if we can go that far with him. I love my brother more than I can say, but I also know he's not the most forgiving person, and whether I want to or not, I'm going to take his place in his role as heir. You can imagine that this causes some tension between us. Nothing is ever simple, is it? Sometimes some things can be. We just have to cherish those moments of simplicity. He smiles at me, then leans over and gently kisses me on the cheek, and I can't help but smile stupidly. Idiot. I give you a compliment, and that's how you thank me? A compliment? You just implied I was simple. You know exactly what I meant. I know, but hey, if I can tease him a little. If you say so, anyway, where will this meeting be taking place? In the baths. You want me to meet your brother while we're all naked? It would be a fun idea, but no. I prefer, and so would he, that we keep it relatively discreet. You know that barely anyone here knows about my real position, so let's keep it that way. So, the baths? I'll just ring the bell and let people know I'm training. They'll leave us alone. Well, only if everyone remembers what that means. Not everyone is a scatterbrained rabbit. The whole castle knows the rules. You're the only one who doesn't follow them. No one told me. You didn't try to find out. I grumble and pretend to sulk while he bursts out laughing. But we still have a little time before we have to join him. And I suppose you have an idea how to occupy that time? Not the one you already have in mind. I have no idea what you're talking about. Of course. But I was just thinking of enjoying your company in this couch. He smiles at me before motioning for me to come closer. It doesn't take me a second to throw myself next to him and snuggle up against his chest as I feel his remaining arm wrap around me. He's not wrong, after all. Sometimes things can just be simple and pleasant. The bell has time to ring and echo through the corridor several times as I accompany Tenoch to the baths. Despite the fact that nothing truly dangerous can happen to me, a sort of nervousness runs through me, not enough for it to be visible, at least I hope so, but still. And on the way, I wonder how much Wappa will be like Tenoch. Physically, of course, but also when it comes to who he is. From the little information Tenoch gave me about him, they were probably quite different. Ready? You know me, I'm always ready. It never hurts to make sure. He smiles at me, and we finally enter the baths themselves. There's less steam than usual, so I have no trouble seeing the lizard waiting for us. Despite a different color, I can't deny that they look alike. Even knowing they're related, the family resemblance is striking, physically speaking. But above all, I also see the difference in style. Wappa is much more sober than his brother in the way he presents himself, which he compensates for with a certain air of superiority, I suppose. My brother, it's a pleasure to see you after so long. Tenoch, Avatar of NeveN, it's an honor to meet you. For me too, Lord Wappa. The blue lizard gaze rests on me for a moment before sliding over his brother's missing arm, his expression changing for a brief second. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what's going through his mind at that moment. I was saddened to hear the news of your injury. It's my fault, really. I was caught off guard. Fortunately, I find myself in the same place as the best users of the planet of Mariani in the world. It's still a tragedy, an attack by Kelvin's avatar right in the heart of Farsfane's castle. His powers seem to enable him to change his appearance, my lord. No one could have predicted what happened. At least you both made it out alive. Eric saved my life. It could have lost more. I could have lost much more than an arm if it weren't for him. And you saved me as well. Wappa takes a moment to look at us one after the other. I've heard some interesting rumors about you two. I suppose what I see confirms them. Am I no longer allowed to have relationships? That has always been your vice, Tenoch. I was hoping that your stay here would change you in that regard as well. No doubt Father hoped the same. Neither you nor I know what Father hopes, Wappa, and it's not like we're getting married or anything like that. I'm perfectly aware that our relationship is limited in time and that it will all end once Tenoch leaves. That's a good thing, but not necessarily my main concern. I know my responsibilities, and you know I won't let anything get in the way of them. I think I've already proven that. Control, Tenoch, that's what I expected you to learn here. Control of your desires most of all. Unfortunately, that's clearly a failure. Just because we're together, that's a bit of an exaggeration, isn't it? It's far from the only rumor I've heard. Brother, I doubt Father sent you here to inform me about a few rumors. I won't deny that I've had a good time. That's a fact, and I don't intend to hide it. But neither can we deny the effectiveness of my work. You read the Alliance proposal. You know how beneficial it will be to both our nations. You should also take into account the advice and assistance Lord Tenoch has given us during recent events. I was able to attend several of his meetings with our kings, and I can attest to the quality of his work. Not to mention that he was assigned to me as a mentor in the basic use of my hand. There, too, he did a remarkable job with powers that no one knew about before. The point of time. You've been vague about this in your letters. Mainly because, even now, we're not entirely sure of the possibilities. As I mentioned, it allows an object to be frozen in time, but that's about the extent of what we know. And even so, I have limitations. Limitations that I have no doubt you will go beyond. After all, mastering a brand takes time and effort. Speaking of which, I suppose you now have complete mastery of yours, Tenoch. As much as possible, brother. I fear I will never reach your level of control, but I no longer fear my own power. Yet I saw the state of the gardens. It's not fair to judge him for that. It happened during the fight against Calathon, who had just torn off his arm. And what is that? What does he mean by and? And? And what? That's more than enough reason to fully use his powers, isn't it? Eric, calm down. Yakas hen piakupas mana yata kuchu korkieta wangi westaya. Pakpa rekupun kachiku waki pakanapa kamakuna panu pakunapa Cosmacuna, Pakana, Nukamanta, Aswan, Safa, Kaku. Are they really going to speak in Kazalian when I'm right next to them? I appreciate it if everyone could follow the conversation. Thank you. Aren't you a warrior bard? Yes, and that term must have a different meaning here. That role is associated with diplomacy and welcoming foreign dignitaries in our country. I expected you to be able to speak our world's main languages. Well, I don't. Here, I am mainly expected to be able to sing and entertain my audience, which I do extremely well. I see that expectations are indeed different between our realms. My brother, we are not here to create conflict. Eric can be a little blunt, but he is not wrong. It was rude of us to speak a language he does not understand. The blue lizard looks me up and down for a moment before letting out a short sigh. Indeed, forgive me. This trip has tired me more than I thought it would, I suppose. Not to mention that, unlike you, these temperatures don't suit me. Fortunately, the capital is heated. I probably wouldn't have come otherwise. Older than where you live, I've never had the opportunity to travel near Kazal. We enjoy the same sunshine as my cat, but fortunately our empire is a humid and fertile land. The heat gives us many more jungles and forests than our neighbors. I had never seen snow before coming here, except at the top of our mountains. I hope to visit one day. Oh, I'm sure you will. We're allies, and I really intend to invite you to the Imperial Palace. You'll be able to enjoy the incredible spectacle of our fountains and gardens, contemplate our art, and taste of cuisine. I can't wait to see it all. It will be an honor to welcome you, Avatar, and if Tenoch manages to convince our father that he is indeed worthy of taking my place, I will become your main contact, taking his place as ambassador of the Empire. So we may have to spend a lot of time together. May, you know that I'm just being cautious, Tenoch. I'm still officially the heir to the throne. Father hasn't officially adopted you yet. Who knows if he won't change his mind, after all. For now, we only have your word and that of NeveN's Avatar, with whom you share your bed. You could admit that this is not the most objective opinion. If my opinion isn't enough for you, why not ask any other resident of Phosphate? I hide the trace of anger in my voice as much as possible. I don't like Wappa and his way of insinuating things without ever saying them directly. They can testify that Tenoch has mastered his brand. If I'm not mistaken, that's the main issue, isn't it? Everyone saw him face our best warrior, a bearer of the brand of Arakar, and use his powers in a unique and inventive way. Tout le monde ne veut frontière notre meilleur guerrier, un portier de la marque d'Arakar et utiliser sa marque de manière unique et inventive. The only reason he didn't completely dominate Gilead was because he didn't want to hurt him. A moment of silence follows, and I wonder if I made a mistake. After all, even though I'm technically a noble of Phosphane, I'm standing before a member of the imperial family of Gazal. We are not exactly from the same world. I'll have to give you that, Tenoch. It seems you still have a clear talent for winning the loyalty of those who accompany you. I'm only doing that by being myself, and that seems to be enough. Harper then leans over, slipping his hand under the water, a brief look of surprise flashing across his face. I expect it to be cooler. I'll have to come back and enjoy these baths. They're usually less empty, so I hope you don't mind. It won't be a problem. We don't have the same relationship with annuity as you do, for what I understand. Wait a minute. What does that mean? If I go to Kazal, where I see lizards walking around naked, like everywhere, where I have to walk around like that too, not that it necessarily bothers me, but it might cause some awkward situations. I know exactly where your mind is going, and what I'm going to say might be a bit of a letdown to you. Whopper simply means that communal baths are much more common here, and that it's not considered strange to be seen naked in this kind of situation, nothing more. Oh, I think I see why you two get along so well. In any case, I hope you enjoy your stay with us, Lord Whopper. I need to change the subject as soon as possible. I'm sure you will. I know Father will be very happy to hear that your reputation for hospitality is not exaggerated. How is he and Mother? Your mother as well. She spends more and more time in the company of Father's wives. And at times, it almost seems as if she is one herself. As for the old dragon himself, he is as fit as ever. It seems our father has inherited the health of our ancestors. The rest of our family is still the same. You know, our brothers and sisters. Oh, and Natsu got engaged recently. I don't know how she found someone willing to marry a mountain of muscle, but it happened. Natsu? Oh, I'm so happy for her. Is she one of your sisters? She's my big sister, yes. One of the few people I know who sincerely believe could take Orgillant in single combat. Tenoch is exaggerating a bit. The captain of your guard has a well-established reputation, and even though our sister is an outstanding warrior, I doubt she could defeat him. It would be impressive enough if she could hold her own against him for one fight. She misses you, you know. She's always been closer to you than to everyone else. I'll be home soon. My training and mission here are coming to an end, and our relationship too, soon. But now is not the time to discuss that. I should be going. I still need to finish settling into my bedroom, then I must prepare for the night's reception. I suppose I will see you then, and perhaps I will even have the pleasure of hearing the royal bard sing. Of course, it will be an honor to perform for you, my lord, and I have no doubt it will be a delight to hear you. Tenoch, Father sent me here to make sure you're ready. That's what I intend to do. Don't disappoint him. I have no intention of doing so. Pakachi. The lizard then leaves the bathroom, leaving us alone. He is strange. Whopper is particularly careful about what he says and never says exactly what he thinks. But it seems that for now, at least he hasn't found anything to prevent me from ascending to the throne. Whatever he thinks of me, I doubt he will dare lie to Father. So that's good news then? For now, he'll probably keep looking. And he won't find anything. I've told you before, you'll make a great emperor, Tenoch. I hope you're right. He smiles at me with a hint of melancholy in his eyes before stretching out in front of me, giving me a very pleasant view of his scaly body. A bath is certainly tempting right now, I must admit. Is there anything stopping us? Two things mainly. The first is that if we undress now, only the gods know where it will lead us. You say that as if I were incapable of controlling myself. I'm just taking my precautions. And the second reason, tonight's reception, we have to look our best. And while I dry off fairly quickly, I know that's not the case for you. And then we know what happens if I try to help you with my powers. I suddenly have a vision of my fur puffing up and blowing around me, making me look like a giant furball. It took hours of busting to get back to normal. Alright, we'll have to avoid that. I knew you would listen to the voice of reason. More seriously, are you okay? I know you were worried about this meeting. Do not pause this for a moment. Taking time to think. I think I'll be fine. It went relatively well. The only thing that puzzles me is that he didn't seem very curious about that. He raised his left arm, his stump briefly flapping in the air. I expected him to ask more questions about it. I don't know whether he is not concerned by it or... He's your brother. He must be concerned about it, no matter what happened between you. I'd like to be sure that's the case, but unfortunately families don't always work that way. He sighs, then he smiles again. No point in worrying too much about assumptions, so focus on what we know is coming. Like tonight's reception, for example. Exactly, although I doubt much will happen. It would just be a way to officially welcome my brother into our theater. I don't even think they'll ask you to sing, to be honest. That won't stop me from doing it if I feel it necessary. I feel that preventing you from singing if you feel you must do so is something that even the gods themselves could not accomplish. I'm a bard. It is exactly what we are here for. I burst out laughing before taking my companion's hand. We both leave the baths, and after a kiss, we part ways to get ready for the night's reception. When I join a cat so we can go to the throne room together, he is even more nervous than usual, which is quite a feat. In fact, he almost jumps when letting out a small cry when I come to greet him. Oh, are you okay? Yes, sorry. It's just that I didn't mean to scream like that, sorry. Breathe and calm down, alright? Then you can explain to me what's going on. He closes his eyes and takes a deep breath before letting out a long sigh. Sorry. What's going on that has you in such a state? It's the Rathier, the eagle that just arrived. I know her. I lived with her when her father was still alive. See, we don't really get along. She's always been pretty mean to me, if I'm being honest. Oh, I didn't know that. Why didn't you tell me? I didn't want to bother you with it. It's my problem, and we're friends. It's part of friendship to help each other out. I smile at him as much as I dare, hoping to reassure him. The situation is completely different, okay? We're in Frostfang as members of the court. She can't do anything to you without the king's permission, and I highly doubt they'll give it. So the best thing to do for now is probably to ignore her. If she comes to talk to us, I'll take care of it. Is that alright with you? I think I'll be fine. I just need to. He sighs again. Thank you. I don't know what I would have done without you. But I'm here, so you don't have to worry about that. I wink at him and slip my arm under his, pulling him towards the throne room. Hey. As he struggles, I simply ignore him and keep walking. If he focuses on the fact that I'm pulling him along, it will distract him from everything else. We find our wife, and instinctively I look up at the restored stained glass ceiling. The damage caused by the appearance of my plan now completely erased. The figures of Lus and Aeon have taken their places back in the center of the ceiling, towering over the assembly below them. And at the same time, the actual kings are seated on their thrones at the back of the hall, with Maybell standing beside them. On the other side, Gilead is keeping a watch on them, and I can see several other guards scattered around the room. I don't recognize many of them. In fact, I wonder if they might be new recruits. We make our way through the crowd until we reach the royal family, and a cat and I bow before them to respect protocol as best we can while in public. My kings, it is an honor to stand beside you in this evening, and we are happy to have you both with us. This is a rare occasion. It is not often that royal representatives from the three nations meet peacefully. It is important that you do your job and keep in mind what is happening here. Of course, my king. You then straighten up and head to the left of the kings to join the other members of the Royal Council. I sat down next to Vo after passing Astrid and greeting her with a brief nod. The priest grunts as a salute, and I simply nod. Once settled, I take another look at the assembly and haven't forgotten that there are several tasks I must accomplish tonight. I should observe what's going on, as Lust was requested, of course, but I also have to try to find Savannah to arrange a meeting that looks natural between the two of us. Fortunately, the weasel isn't hard to spot, dressed as usual in his colorful clothes. At least I'll know where to go next. Out of the corner of my eye, I spot movement near the entrance. Then I turn my head to see Clovis arriving, dressed in his announcer's outfit, his trusted baton in hand. Before he has time to speak, something strange and familiar happens. The saddles of the crowd stretch and lengthen, distorting as they slide up the walls and toward the ceiling. As during the competition more than a month ago, they slowly covered the stained glass window, gradually obscuring it and plunging the throne room into darkness. Perplexed murmurs escape from the crowd, while others attempt half-hearted applause. I'm not sure what to think myself. What's happening? I don't know. Last time Aeon used this for his entrance, but he's already here, sitting on the throne. The last rays of light shining through the room allow me to see the kings, especially Aeon, who looks worried, and I'm not the only one to notice. And even more worrying, Gilant's hand is now on his weapon. My king. These saddles, they're not mine. I can't control them. To be continued. Hello everyone, we hope you enjoyed this chapter. If you want more information about NeveN, feel free to follow us on Twitter. We also have a Discord allowing you to chat among community members. Finally, if you would like to support our project, we also have a Patreon that offers you a series of benefits such as builds 2 weeks in advance. We also unique stories about the characters of NeveN. If you like the VM, please also feel free to rate us on the itch.io. Help us a lot. Once again, big thanks to all of you. See you soon. Alright, so that was the latest update for Tenoch, Chapter 10, and like in the other parts of Chapter 10 so far with a cat and Mabel, and in the end, things go wrong. Alright, so about that conversation Eric had with Viggo. I'm glad that there's at least some resolution to it. I mean, Eric, he was very sad about what he had to say to Viggo, and Viggo was sad also, but I'm happy that the two of them have come to understanding about their relationship and that both of them are not the same people anymore. They're not the people who were in Squadron no more. They're very different people now, especially Eric. Being a bard in the kingdom and being and having the powers of NeveN, it's not the same anymore. And he's moved on to somebody that he loves now, and Viggo will have to do the same. He'll have to find somebody that will love him and who will want to be with him. I feel bad for Viggo, but he's going to have to move on. And he can't let his love for Eric define him. He has to let that part of him go and rediscover himself, or reinvent himself. But I am at least glad that Eric was able to resolve that, and both of them can go about their lives. And what else? It looks like both Eric and Sven, the Weasel, both of them have come to a truce and decide to focus on their performance for the kings and the royal, for the kings and the dignitaries from the other two countries. Now, what we saw just now, with everything going downhill, that probably ain't gonna happen now. So, yeah, but anyway, I really am happy that Sven has decided to come to a truce with Eric and put his animosity towards him aside for a little bit. And with Eric and Tenoch speaking with Wappa, Tenoch once again stating that his relationship with Eric is only temporary, and then once he leaves, Eric will have to say goodbye to Tenoch because he's going back to his empire, and that there's a good chance he'll be the new emperor real soon. Though Wappa is competing with him for that role. But once again, we do hear Tenoch making it clear that his relationship with Eric is only temporary. So I wonder what's going to happen ultimately between the two of them once Tenoch's route comes to an end. Really. Alright, so what else? So far this part right here, chapter 10 for Tenoch, this is really the first build in which Eric got to talk to Viggo. He got to really explain stuff with Viggo, and the two of them come to a resolution. We haven't gotten that yet in the other routes, but Tenoch's route is the first one where both Eric and Viggo got to talk to each other, resolve their issues, and come to understanding. So that's the part I like in this update. So alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop the update now. Well, the update is over now. But anyway, my rambling, my reaction. But anyway, hope y'all enjoyed this latest build of NeveN. Thank you all very much for watching. Goodbye. And the next update should be for Vakad, and we'll see what happens if how the last Vakad update ended with both of them deciding, Eric decided to change his mind and head back to the kingdom now that he knows that that it might be in danger, and Vakad begrudgingly agreeing with Eric, so they all head back to the kingdom. And I wonder if in the next update they'll head back to the kingdom, or if the people behind this story are kind of gonna be more gradual about it. Like, we might not, they might not get back to the kingdom till the very end of the new update, or maybe they get back there early in the update and we get to see how everyone responds to them coming back. But obviously, a lot of people will not like the fact that they left. So we'll just have to see how everybody responds when they come back. And so thank you all very much for watching. Bye.